Well, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon and welcome to Action Indoor Sports Toombul, where the 2019 National Indoor Cricket League Final Series continues. It's day two. We've got some men's division action for you now. The Morphett Vale Sharks up against the Eastern Shore Bombers. I'm Cameron Walter, and with me is Gary Lowe. Gary, good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon to you, Cameron. How are you, sir?
Oh, very well, and all the better for witnessing what we're about to see this afternoon. It's the Bombers with the chance to get through to the finals. Can you believe that? But it's a tough equation for them. They need to win every skin and hope that over on the other court, the one behind us, that the Strathpine Boroughs keep the striker-leading Mustangs pointless from the game. So if Boroughs win every skin over there and the Bombers win every skin over here, the Bombers are through, Lowie.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy stuff, and they need a lot of things to go their way today to the Eastern Shore Bombers. But look, the thing is, they're in with a sniff. They've got a chance, and it's going to be a thrilling clash, and we'll see how it all pans out in the next hour and 21 minutes or so.
Indeed. Take us through the lineups, or as much of it as you can get through before the game starts.
Yeah, of course, and if the game commences, we'll just obviously cross to that instead of the team list. Morphett Vale Sharks, Jamie Diener, Chris Russo, Josh Spall, Jamie Henwood, Trent Riddell, Ash Sampson, Zach Reiki, and Lachlan Ferguson. The Eastern Shore Bombers, captained by Tom Robertson, former Australian representative in 2002, Martin Sterling, James Wolfe, Sean Farrelly, Glendon Bentley, Wayne Quarrell, Ben Bannister, and Daniel Meredith.
The umpire is Wayne Thomas from Queensland, and we're just about ready to get underway. Thanks for your company right around Australia and the world. It is the 2019 National Indoor Cricket League Final Series. Sudden death cricket already in the final men's round for day two. On the line is a spot in the semi-finals and ultimately a place in the grand final where these sides can face off for a share of $46,000 in prize money. Umpire Thomas signals play, and we are underway. Big full delivery there from Diener to start. Not a bad start, but they get it away for runs.
How much prize money did you say?
A share of $46,000.
$46,000.
Pretty handy. Yeah. Woo. Good cash.
That is good cash, mate. Good legal tender.
So Ben Bannister faced that first delivery, and Glendon Bentley is now on strike. And first runs while he's down that end come courtesy of a wide. Full on the legs and driven into the back court. I think that did catch the back net. It did indeed for 4 runs. We'll have to apologise in advance from our position in the commentary box. Unless we hang the head out the window, we can't see the back net, so relying a little bit on whether we see it move or not.
Yeah, we're a bit akin to when I take my Labrador to go get a ball. Oh, hold on a second. Don't worry about the Labrador. Worry about the wickets here. Umpire Wayne Thomas gives it out. Caught short. Eastern Shore Bombers down to 3.
Well, it's a tight call, this one. We'll take a look at the replay, thanks to playcricket.com.au. Big slap, and unfortunately for the batsman, he ran right to where the fielder was, and that took probably half a second, if not more, off his pace.
Yeah, he did make it a little bit tricky, and just speaking to Cam Walter's point before, when the ball comes down towards the back, we've got to stick our head out the window a fair bit, so apologies if that does occur from time to time. But the images from Sportscast Australia will certainly cover it, no doubt at all. So it's going to be interesting here. There's a bit of chirp out in the field at the moment, some banter going on between batter and fielder and umpire. Everyone's having a bit of a chin wag.
Diener continues, the Morphett Vale skipper. Well, for the Morphett Vale Sharks, this is their final game. They can't make it the finals, even with a 4 skins to nothing win. But again, there's a faint hope for the Bombers, provided the Boroughs can win every skin against the Mustangs. We'll keep you up to date with that match as it unfolds.
And the Boroughs winning every skin against the Mustangs is a possibility. It's possible. Is it probable? I'm not so sure. But the Bombers, all they need to concentrate on is themselves. If they drop a skin, then that's it. And that's how cutthroat it is at the moment for the men from Tasmania. Driven.
Yeah, and well placed was that. A flat shot, but a safe one and in the side net for 2.
Yeah, very meticulous indeed.
Now, the Bombers drew their last game against the Mustangs, a 7 off the last ball, if you don't mind, Lowy. But what's interesting to me, upish, the old up-down. What's interesting to me about that game is it looked to us like there were 2. It may have only been 1, not sure, but the Bombers were actually penalised in that game.
Yeah.
So ended up tying it, but had 5 or 10 more runs actually scored.
So for whatever that particular infringement was, we're not a party to exactly what it was. But that did make the world of difference in the end. And wouldn't that have just transformed the whole entire competition ladder had they been given the additional 3 competition points?
Yeah, exactly right. So that cost them there. They might be in a much more comfortable position, but as it is, they need a minor miracle to get through. But they do have a chance. Another 2 runs there for Bannister. We talked about a share of $46,000. It's $10,000 to the winner and $5,000 to the runner-up in the men's division. And swatted for 7. Glendon Bentley. Well, they'll know that they need to win every skin here, the Bombers. So what I think we'll find is that each of these skins are going to come out, not necessarily all guns blazing, but certainly batting with some confidence and trying to post 25 plus per pair. To give themselves every chance at winning every skin.
Yeah, well, they know that even if they win by 200 runs and they drop a skin, it all means nothing.
Yeah.
So there's no point leaving anything out on the table. Any skin that's less than 20 is in massive jeopardy of being defeated here. So it is a tightrope that they have to walk, and unfortunately below for the Bombers, there's any kind of sea animal that wants to eat you up. There's tiger sharks, there's crocodiles, there's piranhas with lasers on their heads. There's everything in there, mate. It's pretty dangerous stuff.
Third over now. Good start there from Jamie Henwood. He's courtesy of the dot off the last ball of the previous over. He's now put them on 3rd ball. The score has to change on this delivery. Crucial moment early in the match. Gives himself some room. Punches it into the onside front court net for 2. Top ball. Certainly in a strong position early are the Bombers.
Yeah, they're off to the start that they would have hoped for, that is for sure. 20 at the moment. They'll be aiming for somewhere around a minimum of 80, upwards of 100. That's it with a bit of authority. Again, we wait for the call from the official, and it is 4 scored.
Final ball of the 3rd over. And it's a leg side. Handy runs again for the Bombers. They move to 26 with an over to come. They're looking good, Lowy.
Mate, they're looking very good. They're looking very, very nice. And keeping an update, because of course they need Strathpine to do pretty well. And there's obviously 2 innings to each game, but the Boroughs are getting pumped at the moment by Striker Leeming. They're only on 4 runs coming into the 4th over. So
that's a skin you think Striker Leeming would put in their pocket.
Possibly.
So you've got to point out that if Striker Leeming could only win 1 skin, the Bombers could get all 4 of them here and then tie on points. But I just think the points differential would mean that Striker Leeming would go through. A big 7 there. Bannister is absolutely bashed that to the back. Massive runs for the Bombers.
Yeah, at the moment there's about an 80-run point differential between the 2 sides. So
maybe the Bombers
win by 40.
Maybe they're hip to that as well, hence some of the big hitting that we're seeing. Yeah,
possibly.
Wouldn't that be a turn-up if they tie on points and Bombers get ahead of striker Leeming on for and against?
Mate, I would lose my mind. I'll take the next 3 weeks off work.
Careful, Lowy. It's only a game, mate.
Oh, I love me indoor cricket, mate. You know that.
The men in the white coats are coming.
They would be marching for me.
Oh, what a shot that is.
Yeah, it's 5 runs, Cameron Walter.
Yeah, brilliant placement. May have been tempted to try and loft that as well for a 7, but I think that was exactly the right length to just hit that straight along the carpet. He knew he had it in the gap. Another 5 runs. They moved to 39, Lowy, with 3 balls remaining.
Yeah, Glendon Bentley smoked that one to the back, and that was precariously close there by Ben Bannister. Both of these players have represented at a state level previously. Bannister, 5-time state open men's representative, but we're going back quite some time, 1996 to 2000, and Bentley representing from 2002 to 2003. So it's been a good 17 years. They go the extra run, they sneak it. Gee, they're on, and the Morphett Vale Sharks are off.
Yeah, it's fantastic to see these guys come back. Some Tasmanian indoor cricket royalty in many respects back then. Oh, that caught the side net, will be caught. You saw Bentley knew it as soon as it came off the bat, and well, that's the difference between 40 plus and 35. And well, this will be interesting. The Morphett Vale Sharks skipper Jamie Diener has been summoned by the umpire. I imagine there may have been a few words from Jamie Diener as the batsman left the court, and umpire Wayne Thomas is just telling him he's not going to have any of that. But despite the loss of that wicket, a fantastic start for the Bombers. 35 on the board from the first 4. That's exactly the start they will have wanted. Not so for the Sharks. It is their captain now, Tom Robertson, on the court with Sean Farrelly. Tom Robertson, former Australian men's representative, part of the 2002 Indoor Cricket World Cup. The Australian side victorious. So pretty handy guy to have in your team. Yeah, he is, and there'll be an exclusive interview with Tom Robinson after this game that you can only find at the Yellow Ball podcast, available on Apple Podcasts, Wooshka or Spotify. So if you're keen to listen to that interview, along with all the wrap-up of the NICL final series, head along to that. So thanks to Tom Robertson for his time. I thank him in advance. And Lakeside to open his account. That one inside the line, and it's a fair delivery. So a dot ball there. See the areas they're targeting here, the Sharks. That's a no ball for height. And catches the net as well. So 4 runs from that delivery. Trent Riddle just getting a little too short that time. A little bit fortunate there. Must have crept inside the line. So a dot ball, 2 to come. Pushed into the offside net for 2. Riddle, part of the South Australian men's side. Certainly has been an effective bowler from them at that level. Doing so again here. That no ball hurt him. And leg side to finish. So 10 runs from the over. Riddle struggling for consistency with his line and length. Yeah, struggling. A bit of an understatement there. That last one was well wide, or well leg side. Just getting it wrong there. Sometimes it's all right to sacrifice a little bit of speed for your accuracy, but they move along here, the Eastern Shore Bombers. 45 is the total, very healthy at the moment. Ashley Sampson to get things underway for the next delivery, or the next over. Wouldn't the Bombers love another 30-plus partnership here? Oh, it'd be
very, very welcomed. I'm sure all those across the Bass Strait tuning in would also be cheering at their televisions, their iPads, or their telephones, hoping for that to happen. The Morphett Vale Sharks this time employing 2 fielders on the offside.
Another wide. There's been plenty of them so far, making life very easy for the Bombers. Though some might argue they're cheaper than 7, which is what we're seeing a couple of in the previous pair.
Gee, that's really looking at it through optimistic goggles there, mate, isn't it?
Well, it's coming from someone who used to bowl a couple of them to avoid getting sent to the
So what
back.
do you reckon? Just bowl 6 wides, think, oh, that's 12 instead of getting carded for 2 sevens, which
Mate,
would be more.
I think I got hit for, I don't know, 40 or something.
You did not.
I got picked to bowl again, and I could barely walk in a Nationals game, and we were getting flogged by about 150 already. And Liam Zammit and I can't remember who his partner was, but basically just walked at me for 6 balls and punished everything to the back net. So yes, I would prefer to have bowled 6 leg sides.
Mate, I've heard some horror stories about your playing career while we've been
all from me, mate.
Yeah,
All from
I know.
me.
I know.
The thing is, most people have these horror stories. They just don't tell anybody.
And that was the next thing I was about to say, mate. One thing about Cameron Walter, he is an honest Jack. That's one thing about you, mate.
That's
and even at your own demise, you'll gladly offer up the information.
Well, I think we've got enough people out there that would happily point out
I'll just throw you right under
moments
the
like
bus.
those. Yeah, if I was anything other than honest, so I've got to get it out there before they do. Ordinary.com. And other than that delivery, that was a great way to finish the over from Sampson and a much-needed wicket. It has to be said, though, these two haven't necessarily looked that comfortable, these two batsmen. They've been on the receiving end of plenty of extras and some inaccurate bowling. And that's got them to that score that they've got to. Otherwise, they haven't certainly looked nowhere near as comfortable as that first pair did.
Yeah, well, not a bad game plan there by the Morphett Vale Sharks. All they've done is confuse him with a good one. You know what I mean? Let's keep that up.
Now, the bowler coming up, Chris Russo, as he's been called by me and others and himself for years in Canberra, country New South Wales. Apparently he's come to you and said, no, it's Russo.
Well, I was out on court just getting the services of Tom Robertson for the interview post-game, and I ran into Chris Russo, and he said to me, oh, mate, it is actually Russo because we're Italian, but Russo's just as good. So that's...
Well, I'm going to call him Russo out of spite.
Yeah.
Now.
And you know, Ollie,
because I've known him for a decade, and he's never once said, no, it's Russo. So it's now Russo. That's the word officially.
Look, I'm not sure if he had any violent objections to the pronunciation of his name. He'd let it be known. But the Eastern Shore Bombers just moving along. There's a chance
Oh, that's
here.
some great fielding from Riddle. It is on the 3 line. Let's have a look at this. Gee, he looks like he was just doing a training run, doesn't he? Here's the replay thanks to playcricket.com. But he was starting a little deep, still moves in and turn and throw, and just catches the stump on the way through. Either way, Dina gathered and took them again. Both times, batsman was out. Good fielding, but interestingly for me, Lowy, is how deep he started. Yeah,
and it was a really good turn and throw from him because he had to really rotate his body at ground level. When you jump up for the ball, you can kind of twist and throw, but to do it at ground level, because you really got to swivel your feet around on the ground, it's a bit more trickier. So, yeah, it's a good bit of fielding. And, yeah, interesting to see him not on that 3 line charging into the front court. So,
yeah, it's actually, I can't stand it when fielders are that deep. I mean, it's obviously come off for him then, but for mine, the job of the 3 line fielder is to be in that front court as soon as the bowlers let go of the ball. The only exception to that is if you are expecting the drives. And with the greatest respect to these two, we haven't seen a lot of it. We just see another sharp piece of fielding there to affect another wicket for the Sharks.
Yeah, it was a handy bit of play there, and somewhat of a kamikaze mission, and he's not going to miss that very often at all, is Ash Sampson. For the Morphett Vale Sharks, he was on that very, very quickly, and I do tend to agree with you with that 3 line fielder. I used to really enjoy watching a player called Aaron Mills. Used to be on the leg side 3 position from time to time. I don't know if he was a specialist there, but I know that in his final years of his career, he certainly was. And used to watch him. He used to have a really strange technique as he came in. He used to kind of drag his fingers in.
Two fielders at one end, and that is
it's a mix-up.
Yeah, not good.
And he was right into that front court, super quick, very, very fast. And that's what I like to see from my three fielders. We watch this replay here. And it's all starting to come a little bit undone here for the Bombers. They're back down to one, and there's only 5 deliveries remaining in this batting partnership. I wouldn't mind seeing them just maybe throw a bit of caution to the wind here. Let's get to maybe 15.
Well, they need to do it. They need a skin, so they need something they can defend here, the Bombers. Full driven, back to the receiver. And this time, make no mistake, the Bombers, they're safe in their crease. The score still though on 1, Lowy.
Yeah, it is. And hey, look, you can win skins of just one, but you've got to be awfully good in the field. So, you know, just like in the other game over there, Strathpine scoring 8. Striker Leeming can lose that one.
Oh, no. Another gift wicket. It was a leg side on third ball. But Farrelly, well, he was next to his captain. Wasn't hip to the wide and has just given up another wicket.
Yeah, it could be an awkward minibus ride back to the accommodation after that one. And they're going to ask to have the ball re-bowled.
Yeah, so the runs from the leg side don't count, but they do still have the option to have the ball again, and of course they've availed themselves of it. Driven for 5 to immediately make up for the wicket. 2 to come, or maybe 1. Just need the scoreboard animation to go away so I can see the ball count. 2 to come from Josh Spall. And Spilden in the side net for 3. Gee, they'd love a 7 here, wouldn't they, the Bombers?
Yeah, you'd actually love a no-ball 7.
Yeah. Well, it's a 7. Will he get home? He does. 7 runs to finish, and gee, they're handy runs that gets them to 11 for the skin.
Well, that's gold. You can defend a skin of 11. It's tricky, but you really, really can. And I understand we've got a special guest who will be coming into the commentary box very shortly.
Why don't you have a spell, Lowy? We'll see you again shortly.
No worries.
Go and have a chat to Chris Russo and work out if he knows how to pronounce his surname. And, ladies and gentlemen, it's a 2019 National Indoor Cricket League Final Series. Men's pool action, a sudden death game here between the Sharks and the Eastern Shore Bombers on the line. A spot in the finals. The Bombers need to basically win every skin here and hope the other results go their way. So interesting action unfolding as I'm joined by current Australian coach, current Australian men's 40s captain, Brenton Bryan. How are you, sir?
Good afternoon, Cam. Very good, very good. How exciting is this? Bombers in a position to make the finals.
Yeah, do you think they can do it?
Well, anything can happen. I think that's the beauty of indoor cricket, isn't it? It doesn't matter what the situation of the game and what the preconceived ideas are. Anything can happen. So, yeah, who knows?
Now, only 11 for that second pair, but gee, they dug themselves out of a bit of a hole there with some big hitting in the final over, and no, 2 at one end. As you say, we've seen that 3 or 4 times from these Bombers side.
Yeah, I guess that communication is always very important from the batsman. And yeah, a bit of confusion there. One running, other one not looking at his partner, and easy wicket there for the South Australian team.
So it's Martin Sterling out there. Just trying to confirm his partner's name.
Got number 27, so Martin Sterling.
Yeah, I've got him.
End.
It looks like, must be number 17, James Wolfe at the other end. From this end, it looks like 77. I am wearing my glasses, ladies and gentlemen, but I'm far away. A chance there, touch. Oh. It's gone through for 5. How about that?
So close to a -5, wasn't it?
So it's number 11, that is. It's Daniel Meredith. But yes, it was almost...
that has just missed the stumps. Touch off the bowler's hand. Jamie Diener. Little touch, but unfortunately past the receiver for 5. So a big turnaround.
And another one sent into the back court. 4 runs.
Was Jamie about to embark on his maiden tour of New Zealand with the Australian Open men's side, so he'll be certainly not happy with that call either.
No, they're blowing up Deluxe. A bit of a laugh from the batsman, Meredith. He'd be arguing that he's about 4 foot tall.
Indeed. Didn't look too short, but...
maybe it was a wide. I think I just caught wide up on the screen. Maybe that's what he's actually called it. Not sure. Well, that's the end of the over. It was an eventful one. Plenty of backcourt cricket. There was the wicket early and some dispute about the extra.
Yeah, absolutely. Dina not happy about that, and certainly Benny's back a little bit more the last 2 balls. And wicket in the over, and they still come away with 6 from it. So building the score nicely here. Going to put up a decent score here for Morphett Vale to have to chase. So anything can happen.
You're talking about Jamie Dina, part of the Australian men's team that you're coaching. Trans-Tasman series, a little bit of a... Well, I mean, it's a test series, so it's as good as it gets, but it's almost early stage preparation for the World Cup next year. Yeah. So looking at a couple of new players.
Yeah, absolutely, Cam. It's the goal. I think not just myself, but the coach in the New Zealand team, Lee Kelly, will be doing the same thing. He's got some guys coming through from their 21 system as well, and some experienced players. So we've got a very similar mix ourselves. So it'll be really good to see. Jamie's come through the 21 system and played very well there. He was in Dubai, one of the key players there in Dubai for the 21s for Australia. So I do know a fair bit about Jamie, and I'm really looking forward to seeing how he goes at the top level.
Aren't we all, as Ash Sampson continues, goes for 2 off that delivery. So 5 test series, is it? Yeah,
5 test series. So we go over there in about a week's time, next Monday, not Monday coming, but the following Monday, and we've got a couple of days of training, and then we start on the Thursday. A couple of games on Thursday, 2 on Friday, and the last game on the Saturday. So it's a pretty tight schedule. But yeah, 5 test series.
Just trying to remember the last Trans-Tasman that was here in Port Macquarie, was it not? I know that New Zealand won one of the tests. In fact, 2. It was 3-2, was it not?
Yeah, I think so. I know they won the first. I was on the commentary for that first test match, and they did play very, very well and beat Australia in the first game. So put us on the back foot there, and Ross Gregory rallied his troops, and they managed to come back and fight pretty hard. And I think they got to 3-1, and then they may have lost the last one. I have to admit, I'm not 100% on that.
Yeah, nor am I.
But I do know Australia won that series, but certainly New Zealand really stuck it to us and made us work for it, that's for sure, and I expect nothing less.
Well, I think it may have been... Oh, that's out too. Can you believe that? I think Dina has just had a no-look flick while Martin Sterling was just hanging around outside of his crease. Here he is. Look at that.
Oh, through the legs.
Yep.
Points for style there.
Yeah, as you do. I think letting New Zealand win a couple of test matches in the year before a World Cup's all about letting them think they're in with a sniff, isn't it, Brenton?
Oh, yeah. I've been warned that Australia don't like to lose ever, and I do understand that. So, yeah, we've got some senior players in the group that don't want to ever lose a game when they're wearing that green and gold shirt, and I do totally see where they're coming from. But our opposition's getting stronger. You know, they're getting smarter. They're watching what we do. They're trying to replicate what we do, and they're doing it quite well. So I expect a very tough series.
No doubt. So that handy wicket there, courtesy of the Morphett Vale skipper, throwing down the stumps at the back here, has this pair on 7 runs midway through their partnership. They'll be looking to get, well, at least 20 plus. If you've just joined us, the Bombers basically need to win this match and win every skin in it to have any hope, and they also need the result behind us to go their way. So big roll of the dice here for the Bombers, and we're back underway. It's Lachlan Ferguson bowling.
I believe there's a few games, Cam, that are on right now that are going to determine the final series. A few results needing to go certain ways for teams to make it. So it's pretty good, isn't it? It's a very tight series.
Yeah, so I think in the other pool, the MacArthur Raptors are through.
Yep.
The Conquerors need, I think, 2 skins out of the match they're playing right now, and if they win that, they'll go ahead of the Vipers. But if they don't do that, I think the Vipers might sneak in. Is that right?
Yeah, I believe some of the Vipers players are saying that they need the ACT Conquerors to get beaten, but I believe if the Conquerors get 2 skins, I think that's it. That's game over. If they get 1 skin, I think that'll tie it up, and then
come down to 4 and against.
Yeah, 4 and against, and I'm not certain how that will pan out, but certainly I think the Vipers players are right on the Northcote Knights at the moment, hoping that they do very well. So that gives them a chance to play in the finals.
So 2 balls remain in the 11th over. National Indoor Cricket League final series action here from Toombul. It's a wonderful shot, isn't it?
Very good shot. It's a little bit full from Lockie Ferguson there, and just really well weighted on, and pretty hard to get run out on a shot like that.
Final ball. Driven, and they're not going anywhere with Jamie Diener at the back. It is a dot ball to finish, and a good over there. They're well placed, I think, now to get that 20-plus score. Be interesting to see who Jamie Diener throws the ball to now to complete this partnership for the Sharks.
Yeah, they'd really like to hold them here, I would like to think, from Morphett Vale's point of view. And Bombers looking to consolidate here, perhaps get to 20, 25 and give themselves a reasonable skin to defend there to give them that chance of sneaking through, as you said before.
They can afford either to drop 1 skin here or have Strike Leeming win 1 skin over there, but then it'll come down to 4 and against. So,
right.
So their total must be in the back of their mind as well, as Jamie Henwood bowls and gets hit for 2.
Yeah, there's so much going on, so much mathematics. I'm glad I'm leaving all of this statistical stuff up to you, Cam, because it's certainly not my forte.
Tucked around the corner, a slap.
Close.
Yeah, a direct hit would have been interesting, but as it was, it missed the stumps and Spall couldn't gather.
Yeah, nice bit of fielding there. Got his body into a good position and a nice little slap next to the stumps. I don't think the keeper, it was very close, wasn't it? Just a little bit low for the keeper for the gloves, but
yeah,
nice bit of fielding in the corner. Really is the beauty of indoor cricket, just the skills on display in the field. Don't get to see a lot of it in any other form of the game, with the nets and reading the ball off the net, different angles. You know, the ball can be hit to a really good shot down and up, and you still can get run out by a great piece of fielding, and it really is the beauty of our game.
Tucked around the corner again. Backward square leg, can't get it back to the stumps this time, and 2 to come. They move to 21. Nice little recovery in the partnership, but perhaps not enough to make them feel comfortable like they can bank anything.
Yeah, a little plan here, 2 on leg side, bowling to that field.
Oh, it's a
good bit of fielding.
Yeah, diving effort there. I think that's Reiki, is it?
Yeah, Zach Reiki, yep.
Saved a couple of runs. Final ball to the pair. Down up single to finish 23, and so it's another skin they can bowl to the Bombers in this final round match up against the Morphett Vale Sharks here at the National Indoor Cricket League final series. If you're just joining us, I'm Cameron Walter, and I'm with the Australian men's coach and the Australian 40s captain, Brenton Bryan. Thank you so much for your company. We're here courtesy of our broadcast partner, Sportscast Australia, as well as our official ball supply for this and every Cricket Australia indoor cricket event. Burley Seacombe, the gold standard in indoor cricket ball. And as we've been discussing, there's a couple of matches on right now. We can update you quickly. The Macarthur Raptors taking on the Mackay Magic. It's a little bit of a dead rubber, that one. Macarthur Raptors batting first, currently on 74 with a pair to come. Northcote Knights up against the Conquerors. Knights are on 53 early in the final batting pair. Just watch the first ball of this pair. It's up. Gee, that's a sharp grab. Claimed and given. Diving forward, stuck the right hand out, I think it was. Here it is on the replay. The first ball, it's up in the air. Well, looks like his fingers are rock solid under that, and claimed and given, fair enough too.
Yeah, great piece of fielding. One-handed grab.
Second delivery into the legs. They scamper through. And the update on the other game. The other game in this pool between the Strathpine Boroughs and Striker Leeming, well, again, skins are so important here, and the striker looming did a number on the first skin for the Strathpine Boroughs, only 8 from it, but the next two, 39 and 30, and they're sitting on 81, as you can see in your screen there. So
chance. Oh,
mathematically at the moment, the Boroughs are doing what the Bombers require. Now it's up to the Bombers. They're riding their luck here, Brenton, as you just saw.
Definitely great piece of fielding. Gathered the ball very quickly. The number 2, Wayne Quarrell, threw it to Jamie Diener, and too much heat on it. Jamie couldn't quite glove it cleanly, but it was a great piece of fielding. Trent Riddell bowling, a really good left-arm bowler as well. He's been playing open men's for South Australia for quite a few years now, and through the 21 system as well, and one of the best left-arm bowlers going around, that's for sure. So got a wicket early and probably had a chance for a second. So we're looking to try and turn this into 2 here, I've got no doubt.
Quarrell on strike. Gets a single.
My apologies, I've read the wrong team sheet. Number 2, the fielder was Jamie Henwood, not Quarrell. Quarrell's in batting, so he can't field when he's batting. So
well, he could,
but yeah, umpire probably wouldn't like that, so apologies there. Got that one wrong.
James Wolfe on strike for the last ball. Very wide. It's called fair. No feet from Wolfe. Brings the over to an end and no runs from it. So that's what the Sharks are after. Of course, tournament's over for the Sharks after this game, but you know what it's like when, well, you may not, you always play finals, but if you're out of contention for finals and you're playing against a team that's still in contention, you're like, hey, let's try and stop this side, treat it like a semi.
Still something to play for, absolutely.
That's right.
Yeah, they want to finish their tournament on a high. They're obviously the champions down in South Australia, and they'll want to come away from this experience and, you know, gain experience, obviously the first thing, but, you know, take a win out and go home proud of what they've achieved.
Indeed, so 3 overs remain in the innings. Bit of work to do here from the Bombers in this partnership. He runs at it and hits some catching practice to Zach Reiki on the 3 line. Could have put that anywhere he liked, Brenton, but...
Yeah. Eyes lit up, I think. It was, oh, wow, full toss. I'll hit this anywhere, and didn't quite hit it where he wanted to. And very easy catch there for Zach Reiki on the 3 line.
Oh, they need that to go to the back net, the Bombers. Certainly not to hand.
A little bit upish, but got away with it.
Yep, just into the vacant sort of backward square area there, the sort of slog sweep.
Yeah, little smile on the face, knowing probably got away with one. Good shot, well played, good feet. Oh, having a little jog there. That was close.
Yeah, it was poor cricket there. Quarrell just nonchalant about making his ground here at the top end, and very close to being out.
Yep, nearly paid the ultimate price.
Two balls remain.
Foolish again, chance, easy catch. Jamie Diener, good field position. Saw where it was going to be and took a very easy catch there. So they're trying to force the pace a little bit here and probably go after the leg spinner, but I think he's got the better of him.
Yeah, you see that so often in indoor cricket, don't you? It's one thing that a lot of, particularly club level players don't face often enough. It's quality spin.
Yeah.
So when they do face it, they're like, hey, beautiful, a slower bowler, someone I can run at. And if the spin is good enough to vary the flight, the pitch, if they've got a good wrong-un, they can really clean up.
It's really exciting as a coach to have quality spinners in the side, but gee, it's a tough art in indoor cricket. There's not a lot of room for error, so you have to be spot on. And yeah, you bowl one slightly wrong and it can go for the maximum, and you can go for quite a lot of runs. But if you do get it right, the alternative is there's a lot of wickets. So it's exciting, and it's great as a coach and a captain to have that sort of artillery to play with. But yeah, very difficult to get it right all the time.
Sent into the back court for 5. Yeah, I back in the day used to bowl a bit of off spin, and I used to bamboozle them for the first 2 balls until they figured out that I couldn't turn it at all.
Yeah.
So play for the turn that wasn't there, make them look foolish, and as soon as I figured that out, I went the journey. So yeah,
very difficult, very difficult. There's a lot more room for error when the guys are holding it seam up and swinging the ball and that sort of thing, cutting the ball off the deck at a swifter pace, but certainly Yeah, leg spin, off spin, it's not easy.
Oh, huge shot. He has bombed that to the back. That's still going, Brenton.
What a shot.
Have a look at this on the replay.
There's no edges into the side net there. That is right off the middle of the bat.
Bang.
Wow. Great shot.
And much needed too for the Bombers.
Yeah, good bit of fielding there. Yeah, building the score again now. 80 plus. Might be an interesting chase.
Yeah, I mean, all of these skins are just so competitive. So each little 4-over battle will be so intriguing, Brenton. Two to come.
As you say. No.
Nobody wants that.
No, we're looking good there and probably wanted to repeat the previous shot. Can't blame him. It was such a great shot.
Yeah.
But didn't quite get that one off the middle, and that's, I guess that's the fine line between playing those lower percentage shots. When they come off, it is absolutely fantastic to watch, and the batting team would love that, but when it doesn't come off like that, it doesn't look particularly good, does it?
No.
That's a good shot.
And well kept off the net. Protecting the runs well are the Sharks. So 1 over remains now in the final match of the tournament for the Sharks and possibly for the Bombers as well. They've need to take at least 3, but probably 4 skins out of the game, and hope the other result goes their way. Otherwise, it will be curtains for them as well.
Yeah, big last over here. What can they do? Can they consolidate, get 8, 10 runs, get that score over 80 and give themselves a reasonable target to defend? Or will they keep going hard and perhaps hold the score here, or perhaps even go backwards a little bit? Zach Reiki to bowl the final over. Starts with a leg side wide, so there's a bonus 2 runs. 6 balls still remaining.
I mean, this as a coach, and it's one of the reasons I can't coach anymore. My brain just can't handle it, but leg sides in the final over to a pair.
Yeah, look, it's sort of the same when the batting pair's batting and they get out in the last over of their pair as well. It's one of
with a
things.
gift run out or third ball laziness or something,
That's the beauty of it. You can never predict it.
Oh, another
burn.
7. Will he get there? He will.
He's hit that one clean as well, so good time for it.
Live by the sword, die by the sword. The Bombers at the moment. Quarrel sending one to the back. He's 50-50 with that shot at the moment. He's had 2 caught and 2 7s.
Yeah, certainly when he hits them, they stay hit, that's for sure. When he hits them off the middle, a bit of confusion, no.
A good call in the end and a good response.
Yeah, very well bowled by Zach Reiki. Just held it up a little bit there and didn't come onto the bat as well as the batsman would have liked. And nice piece of fielding there by Lockie Ferguson on the leg side.
Chance at the top from Riddle. Can't hit this time. Stoked that the Eastern Shore Bombers are here. I missed last year's NICL final series, but the year before that it was Huon and Channel, the champions from the Tasmanian division. And it's much easier to say Eastern Shore Bombers.
Oh, he's going to give that?
He's not interested.
Sure.
Not interested.
Yeah, I think it looked like the batsman got an edge and it hit the keeper and popped up.
Let's have a look here on the replay, thanks to playcricket.com.au.
Yep.
Well, if he's edged that should be out. So the only thing that Wayne Thomas can say, well, he's either saying he didn't hit it or he thought that it's bounced.
Right call, wasn't sure. Called not out. That's the right call from the umpire. So well done by Wayne. It looked like there was an edge there, but he obviously didn't hear anything and didn't see any deviation, and it's pretty hard. The keeper probably would have been right in his eye line. So, as a player and as a coach, if you can't see it, I'd rather him call not out than take a guess. So, good officiating there by Wayne.
Final ball. So down up 3 to finish. Handy runs for the Bombers. They finish with 89, and more importantly for them, they've got 4 skins that they can attempt to defend here. So it's game on for a finals berth for the Bombers here in the National Indoor Cricket League Finals Series for 2019. If you just joined us, I'm Cameron Walter, and with me is the current Australian men's coach and current Australian 40s captain, Brenton Bryan. We've talked a little bit about your upcoming the Trans-Tasman as a coach. How about the trip to South Africa to the Masters World Series? You must be looking forward to that as a player.
Yeah, definitely, Cam. We had a bit of a chat about this with Lowy last night, and Yeah, all the boys are very looking forward to it. We've got 5 grades going over there to South Africa to compete in the Masters World Series, the 35s, 40s, 45s, 50 men and the 30 ladies. So got some really good players getting an opportunity to represent their country, and I think I'd be speaking for everybody on that tour to say that we're all very excited and honoured to be there.
And as you and I know well, it's a tough place to go away and win it.
It really is, yeah. It's a very different environment. The South African fans are very parochial and they get right behind their team. Excuse me. And yeah, they definitely love their indoor cricket over there, and they build into the tournament. They know that they don't have to win the tournament on the first game. And as you and I both remember being involved with the 35s team in 2013, went through the series undefeated and came up against the South Africans in the final, and they played their best game when it counted and managed to get the win. So yeah, it'll be really good to go back there and see whether we can rectify that, and really looking forward to seeing how the team goes. We've got a very good 40 side, and I'm very honoured to be named captain of that side, and we've got some of the best talent that our game's seen, and none other than the great Vinesh Bennett. So we've got Jason Hayes, we've got some really good players that have played at the high level for a very long time, and I'm very honoured to be part of that side.
Yeah, it'll be a cracking trip. I'll be watching on with interest from home, and be sure that both for the Trans-Tasman and the Masters World Series, you all go with our best wishes. Brenton?
Yeah, we appreciate that. We know everybody back home gets right behind us, and they'll be watching, and hopefully we can put on a decent enough show to justify their support. So yeah, we very much appreciate it.
Now back to this game. The Bombers up against the Sharks. Well, we can say that the Burrows over in our other game, they've posted 105. A very low first skin though, so I think that striker Leeming in the other game will probably pick up at least 1 skin,
yep.
Which means that the Bombers now need to win every skin in this game, and probably even pick up 30 odd in their for and against. So
yeah,
they'll need to do a number here on the Sharks, and they'll have to contend with their skipper Jamie Diener, and he's joined by Zach Reiki, who are coming out to chase this first partnership of 35.
Yeah, on our court to our left, it looks like the Macarthur Raptors have posted a score of 109, so they've really dug in there and got a very good score against Mackay. So Mackay have just finished the bowling innings there, and they're going to come out and chase 110 runs to win that game.
And we're underway here, and a great shot to start for Jamie Diener off his opposite number, Tom Robertson, the skipper. The other game, of course, is the Conquerors up against the Northcote Knights. Northcote scoring 52, and the Conquerors are on 7 at the start of the second over. They need 2 skins to progress to the finals.
A couple of my teammates over there, Cam, for the South African tour, opening the batting for the Conquerors, so I'll keep one eye on that game and one eye on this game.
Well,
good shot, Jamie.
Yeah.
Took a bit of a risk. But can bat, very good bat, Jamie Diener. He had a great nationals this year for South Australia. And he's been coming up through that junior system, as I mentioned, one of our key players last time he represented his country. So I'm really looking forward to seeing how he goes, and I'm especially now again, for his team, the South Australian Morphett Vale Sharks.
Yeah, well, the thing is, for the Sharks, it's their last game. They know that. There's nothing on the line here for them. They can play with a bit of freedom. And I think we'll see that in the way that Diener bats. I mean, even more so than usual.
Yeah, he's a very good bat.
Such quick hands.
A lot of time.
Yeah.
It's one of those guys, when you're coaching at open level, a lot of the guys are, I don't know if critical is the right word, but they don't typically put a lot of praise on their opposition. And this year in particular, Jamie got a lot of praise from the Queensland guys when we played him, and they were all very impressed with the way he went. So it gives me a good indication as a coach when I know my guys are out there saying that this guy's a really good bat. They don't often give compliments away that easily. So,
yeah.
That told me a fair bit.
So a great start for the Sharks. 13 runs coming from that over. They're well on their way in pursuit of this first partnership at 35. And remember, for the Bombers, they drop any one of these skins and that's it. The tournament's over for them. They cannot make finals. Well, that assumes, of course, that striker Leeming win one skin over on the other court, which I believe they will do. We'll update you with that in a couple of overs' time.
Yeah, a lot on the line in this round, so it's going to be interesting to see how all these games finish.
A share of $46,000 in prize money. Everybody's keen to be part of that final four. Daniel Meredith, the bowler, a single off his first delivery.
Yeah, not to mention, Cam, I think the bragging rights as well. Being able to say that you're part of the best club side in the country, not a bad thing to be able to talk to people about over a barbecue.
Indeed. And look, Lowy and I have been commenting throughout the series that there's no defending champion here.
That's right, yeah.
I think the closest we've got really is the Macarthur Raptors, who were the runners-up in last year's final in the men's. So 3 years of National Indoor Cricket League, and there'll be six different champions across men and women across those 3 years.
Yeah, fantastic, isn't it? It just shows the spread of talent that we've got across the country, and how all of the clubs around the country have embraced this fantastic concept in the National Indoor Cricket League. And it's a testament to it that we're going to see another 2 new champions this year. Fantastic stuff.
Final ball now. Oh, that is an absolute swat and caught. It's the one-handed slog that is from Dina. As I said, playing with, playing a little bit careless, and why not? There's nothing on the line for them.
That was the first.
Yeah, that's an earlier one that went for 5. Now the other swat coming up and catching the onside net and falling into the hands of the receiver at the back here. So crucial wicket there for the Bombers. That's pegged these two back straight away, and if that had gone for 7, then Sharks would be favourites for the skin. As it stands now, it's even Stevens.
Yeah, still got a bit of work to do now. 2 overs to get 21 runs. So Bombers have got it all in their hands. If they bowl well here, get some pressure on these 2 batsmen, maybe take another wicket, they might be in good stead to take this first skin.
There you see it on the replay. An easy catch there for Quarrell, well judged. Push down leg side.
Yeah, a little wayward there. All these guys have probably played a few games now. Some of them may be their 4th game, so maybe just starting to feel a little bit of tiredness in the muscles, a little bit of weariness. Left that one out to the offside, so 1 down leg side, 1 down the offside, so I'm expecting this one to be right on the money.
Middle stump.
Middle stump, I think. Sakariki, very good bat. If he gets through him, it'll be a great delivery. I expect this one for Zach to have to play at this one. Oh, well bowled.
Well, it was a middle stump, but it was full and wide. That's a tough shot to play when they get that length right and keep it just inside that wide line.
Yeah, a little bit of in-swing to the right-hander there too, so I didn't get across to it, and that's well bowled too. Just change of pace right at the batsman doesn't allow him to really play any shot other than to hit the ball and run over it. So very good recovery from the previous 2 deliveries, that's for sure.
It's aggressive calling, but on the money, and they get through for a single and move to 23. So they'll have 6 balls within which to score 13 runs. Interesting times here, Brenton, at the National Indoor Cricket League Final Series. This is going to be the last game for the Sharks and possibly for the Bombers as well. They need to win this skin, the Bombers. Can they do it?
Yeah, well, it's all in their court, isn't it? As I said, they've got 6 balls to try and restrict the Sharks to, 12 runs or less to stay alive for this skin. So I'm sure they'd like less than 12 to make it clear-cut skin win, but they've got 12 runs to play with here. So how's Dina and Riki going to play this? It's a good start.
Yeah, I suspect like that until they need to, and if they need to go send a ball on a journey.
Yeah, that's what you'd like to think. Now it's 6 balls, 12 runs, so if they can just hit 2 a ball, I know it sounds very simple from where we're sitting, but certainly that's the simpleness of the equation, I suppose.
Four to come.
Simpleness is even a word, Ken.
Well, it is now.
Yeah.
There's another 2. They move to 29. Remember, if they get 6 off the last 3, it ties the skin and it will jackpot forward to the second, as you're talking about, Brenton, and that's only a skin of 11, so you would think the Sharks would be favourites if this does jackpot. But as it stands now, 2 to come and 6 required at least.
Yeah, so if they're going to chase this skin, you'd be thinking that we're looking at least a big shot off one of the next 2 deliveries. So
I'm backing a 2 here and a back net shot from Dina off the last.
Yep, well, there you go. Half of your prediction has come true. And probably the right way for the Sharks to play it. Dina can hit the back net. I know Riki can as well, but knows that Dina's probably a fairly good chance. And the Bombers now putting the field back to try and restrict this. So 5 runs needed for the skin, 4 runs to tie. 1 ball remaining.
That's what it comes down to. Will the Bombers stay in the tournament?
Haven't got fielders right on the back net, which sometimes might be costly. And when you hit them like that, it doesn't really matter. 7 runs from Jamie Dina, and there's the skin.
Too good from Jamie Dina, the Morphett Vale Sharks skipper. Big 7 off the last ball, and that officially ends the tournament for the Bombers, I'm sorry to say. I can tell you that Striker Leeming have won the first skin over on the other court, and that means that it's mathematically impossible now for the Bombers to make the finals. So that's a shame for them, but that's the way the cookie crumbles here at the National Indoor Cricket League Final Series. We're here live from Action Indoor Sports Toombul, thanks to our broadcast partners in Sportscast Australia. We certainly appreciate all their efforts in helping us bring you the games from Toombul. So thank you to them, and thank you for your company right around Australia and the world. And Cameron Waldron with Brenton Bryan taking you through what is now the final round game for both of these 2 sides. So on the line now is just that win in your final game, Brenton.
Absolutely, yeah. The Sharks, as we said before, want to finish on a high, and they've got off to the perfect start. 38 from the first skin, which is a fantastic platform for the rest of the batsmen to come out and try and consolidate here and get the win. And yeah, wicket first ball, good fielding.
Yeah, it's a tough one. The batsman has played that down and up into the top net, as we'll see here on the replay. But at no stage did it appear to me that he was looking at his partner. So he's followed that ball,
yeah.
Wandered out of his crease. If he'd looked up at his partner, he would have seen there was no run on and stayed where he was.
Yep, communication's such a key part of the game when you're batting in indoor cricket. And yeah, you're spot on there, Cam. Just didn't quite catch the eyes of his partner and got caught in no man's land, and an easy wicket there for the Bombers. So a great start to the second skin, wicket off the first ball.
Oh, what a delivery.
Wow.
How about that from Martin Sterling? Follows up the run out with a big in-swinging delivery. Takes, looked like middle and off to me. Here it is on the replay. There it is.
Well, it stayed low too, didn't it? But yeah, you're right. Perfect call from you there, Cam. Middle and off, exactly.
Little grubber was it in the end?
Yeah, it did sneak through, didn't it? So I'm going to play with a nice straight bat here. -10 off the first 2 balls.
That's a better shot.
Yeah, well played.
And spilled into the side net for 3.
Fumble bowler won't be happy with that, but doesn't seem perturbed by it. He'll come in and try and take another wicket. Good over so far. Chance.
Oh, directed! How about that? The dive, it's not good enough. And another wicket falls in the first over of the second pair. How about this one, Brenton Bryan? Look at this on the replay. It's a great piece of fielding to pick it up. And then the throw, direct hit, and out by millimetres.
What a great call there from umpire Wayne Thomas. A fantastic piece of fielding. Great body position and really put a lot of pressure. Diving batsman, which often can get them home, but still too good. And what a great out.
Oh, and another wicket. That's 4 in the over. The Bombers are going ballistic. Can you believe it, Brenton Bryan?
Fantastic.
Unbelievable cricket. What scenes for the Bombers. Here it is. That one, just a little cutter.
Yeah, little cutter. Beat the bat, drew the batsman out of the crease. Great piece of wicket keeping, and 4 wickets in the over. We're just sitting here talking about what a great start for Morphett Vale, 38 from the first skin, and now we're sitting on -17 for the second with a ball to come. First over.
Another chance.
Oh, dearie me.
Well, a single off the last ball completes what was a remarkable over. 4 for -16. Martin Sterling, take a bow.
What a fantastic start for the Bombers. Probably would have liked to have seen a little bit of that against the first pair.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, that wasn't to be, and they managed to scrape over for the first skin. But you know what? Both teams have got a fair bit to play for here because they both want to finish their tournament on a high. The Bombers have come here won a great game last night. I can't remember who they played, but had a fantastic win last night. I believe they had a fantastic draw today.
Yeah.
And they're in the hot seat now after that first over of the second pair to perhaps win another game. So what a fantastic way for them to finish their tournament.
100%. Oh, not convincing there from Henwood. He is under the pump at the moment.
Yeah, she had a little shake of the head there. Not sure what's going on.
That's a good shot from Chris Russo.
Yeah, that's a good indoor cricket shot. Waited for the ball to come right under the eyes, down up. No risk there. It'd be the safest shot that this pair's played. So let's hope that they can consolidate on that.
Oh, that's there. Out. It is out indeed. Quarrel the man.
Wow. What a great bit of fielding. They got a touch from the bowler there, so it would have just deviated there from where Quarrel thought it was going to go, but straight into the right hand and straight over.
I tell you what, you're on the money there.
Yep.
That's deviated a good foot. The reaction time to stick the right duke out and then take the bails. Happy days if you're a Bombers fan.
Yeah, great piece of fielding. That's definitely not easy. Another chance. Both at the same end, and they have... Oh,
it's out anyway! These guys are running amok. The Bombers are all over this pair. I can't quite believe they still ended up with a wicket. It was a sharp piece of fielding. He went to the wrong end, it must be said. The ball's nowhere. Ends up over there again, and back to the keeper. Takes the bails and runs out Chris Russo.
What's going on, Cam? This is unbelievable. We've seen more wickets here than I think I've seen all weekend watching all these games in 2 overs. Absolutely fantastic scenes here for the Bombers. They're keen. They want to win this game, and that's fantastic.
Yeah, I really feel for them. I mean, if they do end up winning this game, they might miss out on finals by a single point.
Yeah.
And that draw they had earlier today, I was talking to Gary Lowe about this. They drew with a 7 off the last ball, but they had 2 penalties against them.
Oh.
Yeah, so that's 10 runs that they didn't have in their column. Could be a very different equation now if they'd won that game and had the points from it. So
yeah, it would have changed the whole complexion of this game, that's for sure. So.
Yeah, so 7 wickets in 2 overs so far for this pair. Negative 16 on the board. Can't quite believe what we're seeing, but it's exciting nonetheless.
Yeah, absolutely. And this is the lowest skin. I think I heard Gary before he handed over to me in the 8th over say, well, at least they posted a skin of 11 here. That is still defendable. And look at the situation we're in now. He was spot on, wasn't he? Like, this is the beauty of indoor cricket. You just cannot predict what's going to happen. 38 for the first pair. Second pair sitting on negative 16 after 2 overs. Just fantastic.
Yeah, we've seen it all too often over the years. An unexpected result where whether it be the batting pair that you might consider the weakest or even the strongest come out with a negative score, completely turning a game around. The game within a game. It's always a fair contest.
Oh, that's a great piece of fielding.
They're on fire. That's the 8th wicket for the partnership. I cannot believe it. Where has this been from the Bombers? There's the shot. The direct hit. Out by a good metre.
Yeah, just always going to be tough with the direct hit. But, yeah, just was really in a good position to get that ball at the net. Had a free aim at the stumps and didn't disappoint. Wow. Great piece of fielding. Negative 19.
Yeah, well, what do you do if you're this pair, Brenton, or if you're the coach? What do you say? How do you dig yourself out of this hole?
I guess, as a batsman, if I was out there, I'd be talking to my partner saying we've got to do our level best to get back to 0. I mean, that's really where they want to be right now. No more wickets, obviously. There's been 8 wickets in this pair, as you say, so there's probably been far too many. Often we wouldn't even see that many wickets in a game. So this has really turned this game on its head, this effort from the Bombers in this second pair. But I'd be, as a batsman now, get back to 0. That's got to be my goal.
It's up and it's out. Another wicket.
Wow.
It's absolute carnage here. The Bombers all over the Sharks. Simple catch here on the 3 line. Just a little punch was through, a shot too early, and an easy catch.
Yeah, absolutely. I did notice at certain times during the game there's been a few words of encouragement between the 2 teams. And, yeah, I think after that first pair from Morphett Vale, they were probably feeling fairly confident, and rightly so. 38 chasing 90, and the game's just turned on its head. 9 wickets in the second pair, 3 overs gone. There's still an over. Still 1 over to go for this pair. So, as I say, I think a good question before. This pair really needs to do what they can to get back to 0, but they need 18 runs in 1 over to get back to that. So
yeah,
they really need to fight to get as close to that as they can to give the next 2 pairs any sort of chance of being able to put that last pair in a position to win, I think.
I'm not sure I can name another occasion where I've seen this many wickets in 3 overs in a 6-ball over game. I haven't seen it.
Yeah.
Certainly I would have in 8-ball over cricket, and might have seen it back when I was playing Masters and batting, but certainly haven't seen it at the NICL for a while.
Yeah, no, you'd be right, Cam, and I know you've called quite a few games and probably seen just about everything, so for you to say that, I reckon the Bombers have done something special here for sure.
Now, Brenton, we've talked about your various capacities, coach of the Australian men's team, captain of the Australian 40s Masters side. How about that of proprietor here of Action Indoor Sports Toombul? You must be feeling good about how well the centre's come up for this tournament.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm really pleased. My staff have just worked tirelessly. We've had some renovations done recently, and they got finished literally the day before everybody turned up to play yesterday. So they finished on Thursday, and the staff have been working nearly around the clock. So I really have to take my hat off to them and thank them for all their efforts. And very pleased to be awarded the tournament, and we love having big tournaments here at Action Indoor Sports Toombul, and I couldn't be happier. It's been a great weekend so far, and it looks like some of the best cricket's yet to come, so I'm looking forward to seeing that out.
Yep, well said. Big swing and a miss. We're trying to see whether or not we can get to 10 wickets for the pair. That'd just make a nice round figure, would it?
There was a half chance missed as we were talking there, so that would have been the 10th.
Oh, big shot. It caught some side net, I think, so it is 4. That helps, but plenty of damage already done.
Yeah, definitely. Creeping back towards that 0, trying to get that pair in a position where if they hit 30, it puts that last pair in a position to win. Oh, another half chance there, didn't quite fall the way of the fielder. So squeeze 2 more runs from the batsman, and 1 ball left in this pair, so there's 1 more chance, Cam, to get that magic 10 wickets in a pair. Let's see what happens this ball.
Looks like it'll be
fine shot.
a comfortable 3 in the end. That brings well, what was a pretty crazy partnership to an end. In the end, -6 from it, but 9 wickets throughout it. So amazing indoor cricket scenes here at Action Indoor Sports Toombul. Brenton, we're going to let you go. Before I do, just again, our best wishes for the Trans-Tasman and, of course, the trip to South Africa. And so on behalf of all the participants and fans here for this weekend, congratulations to you and your staff here at Action Indoor Sports Toombul. Beautifully presented centre, and your hospitality, as always, has been second to none, mate. So thank you very much.
Thanks, Cam. More than a pleasure. Thank you.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, if you've just joined us, it is the 2019 National Indoor Cricket League Final Series. This is the final round game for both the Bombers and the Sharks, doing whatever they can to finish their tournament on a positive. We'll do a quick whip around at the other games. The Macarthur Raptors defending 109 fairly convincingly against the Mackay Magic. At the moment, it's a tight contest between the Conquerors and the Northcote Knights. The Conquerors need 2 skins out of that game or a win. Just watch this first ball, and it'll be a single to advance to the finals. In our other game, as you can see there on your screen, the Strathpine Boroughs against the Striker Leeming Mustangs. 105 to 61. That one's going to be close. The Striker Leeming Mustangs have done enough now to secure a spot in the finals. We'll keep an eye on all of those games. And, of course, this one as Sampson and Riddle come out batting for the Sharks. We're joined once again by Gary the Show Lowe. Missed you, mate. Have you been enjoying the game?
Mate, what happened?
9 wickets.
What happened?
Yeah.
I was downstairs watching at the ground level, and it was all just falling apart, mate. Do you know what I mean? And the skin of 11, the skin that you'd expect them to pick up out of all the possible skins.
Yeah.
And they go out there and just implode. And, you know, we're looking at the other game over there, the Boroughs and the Leeming Mustangs, as you've already touched on. It could have quite easily be coming down to points differential if these guys had won this game 7-zip and the other guys just pick up 1 skin and go on to lose. But it's all academic now. They've buried themselves with that second skin, and the other game picking up the skin. So that's really murder she wrote.
It's all over bar the shouting.
You'd almost not want to win from here. Do you know what I mean? Because then you'll be like, we could have been going through, except we couldn't pick up a skin at 12. So it'd be very bittersweet to get the victory here, winning 3-1.
Yeah, indeed, ruining what could have been as that first over comes to an end. Just 3 runs from it. Riddle, as I said, and Ashley Sampson. Quarrel was the bowler. So despite the wheels falling off that second partnership, the Sharks certainly still well placed to get a win here. The Bombers, though, if they can win these 2 skins, they'll win the game. The other interesting one for me is that Northcote Knights Conquerors game happening on the court to the right of screen.
Oh, dearie me.
Yeah, the Conquerors need either 2 skins or a win to advance to finals. A win is looking tough from where they are now, certainly not outside the realm of question, but the Knights have come hard at them. They'll need to win this or the last skin, so chase down 20 or -5 to secure a spot in final. So we'll watch that one interestingly as well as we continue here. Advanced at a full toss and given out. The bowler left the ball for the receiver, who whipped the bails off, and Sampson is out, short of his ground.
And I'm sure the Victoria Point Vipers would be in the Sports Centre watching that Northcote Conquerors game and thinking, hey, Northcote, you could have really done us a favour if you scored more than -5 in that 4th batting partnership.
Well, I'm told that the Vipers have had some discussions with the Knights. There may be some gifts on offer.
Yeah, I bet.
Yeah.
Some performance gifts.
Yeah, I think I've told this story before, but I think it was back in 2004 when the Australian Capital Territory, who couldn't make finals, needed to beat New South Wales, which would knock them out of finals, the defending champions, and put WA in.
Yeah.
So WA offered everything to the ACT side and ended up having to deliver.
Wow.
It was an interesting time knocking out the defending champions.
And look, when you're on your way out of a competition, you love just throwing spanners.
Correct.
Into the works, left, right. Just go out in a blaze. If we're going down, we're taking everyone else.
Exactly right. Exactly right. 2 to come here in the 10th. I've got to tell you, forget all the maths. The Bombers have to be disappointed with that first partnership. The 7 off the last ball. It could still be tournament on for them if that hadn't have happened. That single delivery has cost them. That and the penalties in the earlier game as well.
Yeah, there's been a lot. I've only got a very precious few minutes to have an interview with Tom Robinson at the conclusion of this game, but really I could sit down with him for about 30 minutes and go through a lot of could-haves, would-haves, should-haves, might-haves.
Well, no doubt that interview in that few precious minutes you have, and I'm just doing a sort of semi-promo for you, the podcast that'll eventually feature on, but no doubt you'll be asking some questions about what it's going to take or what sort of time frame we're looking at to see whether it be these people or others from Tassie front up with a team at Nationals. Does that form part of your interview?
Mate, that is about the 3rd question written in my my little book, and that's because at the end of the day, that's from my perspective. I obviously can't speak on behalf of Cricket Australia, but my end game for the Tassie guys is to get them back into those national champs. I'm sure that it's one of the many goals that Cricket Australia have. I have no doubt. But that's what I'm interested in.
Certainly speak on behalf of the Cricket Australia High Performance Committee, and I'll tell you that that's absolutely what we're interested in. But in a sustainable way.
Yes.
Whatever. And again, tune into the podcast to hear the answers to these questions. But that's what I'd be interested to hear from Tom Robertson is, okay, there's been talk of it for a couple of years now, from Tasmania coming back. I know they've been working with South Australia. They've had a couple of sort of head-to-head tournaments. So that either says to me that what they're doing hasn't come through, or they're taking their time and getting some foundations right so that when they do come back, they're back for good. Yeah,
and that's what you don't want to flash in the pan. That doesn't do anybody any good.
No.
We certainly want them to be coming back and be a regular part of the national championships. So does everyone else, because I'll tell you right now, people are dying to swap jerseys with the Tasmanian side. That'll be the one thing at the end of the competition, mate. Those guys won't have any more Tassie gear left.
Yeah, they'd better order a couple of extra shirts.
Bring a few.
We talk a couple of times about playcricket.com.au where you can find your local centre. If you are in Tasmania, we want you. Jump on that website and check out where you can play indoor cricket and get amongst it. We're not saying you've got to be part of a National Indoor Cricket League side or part of a national side making a triumphant return to nationals, but we are saying that indoor is a great form of the game and a great way to acquire new skills or maintain old ones. Jump on to playcricket.com.au and join in the fun. Take the floor, play indoor. Tasmania or anywhere on the mainland, mate.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, indoor cricket certainly non-discriminatory wherever you are. There's a centre near you.
Well, if I can play it, anybody can.
Yeah, well, that's right. I actually was going to keep this just for myself. I wasn't going to tell him, but I actually had a game of in-house indoor cricket here about 3 weeks ago.
Oh, how'd you go?
Poorly. And I just kind of said to the team I used to play for on a regular basis, and said to them, guys, I just can't play regularly again like this because people think I've got a certain standard of cricket in me with the broadcast and all that kind of stuff. And if the truth comes out that I'm absolutely horrific.
Wow. See, I'd make no illusions about it.
I
am horrific.
You've reached higher levels than me. You've played for the ACT. You've played at a national championship. I think we've got something wrong with the pitch here. Maybe a bit of carpet's kicked up.
Looks to me like that join down there where the black joins the red might have come a little bit loose. Just a bit of tape on that might help.
Yeah, and we'll patch that up as we go. But I was. And I tell you what, I was sore for days. I was walking around like Frankenstein because it's been a little while since I've come in. I still think I'm 19. I can run around and do the flips off the nets and all this kind of stuff. And, mate, I was pretty tender afterwards, I'll tell you what.
Well, I'm flirting with the idea of coming back and playing socially. But the big barrier for me at the moment is 3 kids in and the least fit I've ever been in my life. So it's going to take something special for me to walk back onto an indoor cricket court. But I've certainly been there and done that. And if you haven't, playcricket.com.au is the place to go. Well, the tournament director, Dave Shepley, there he is on your screen. Legend of indoor cricket, and indeed one of the inaugural members of the Hall of Fame of indoor cricket. Went out there onto the court to survey the situation. We're still not sure what the issue is or what it will take to rectify it. But
I reckon maybe
we will have a small delay.
Just play from the other end, mate. Have the striker down this end and
why not
go from there.
Get the umpire up here with us.
Short run up.
Come in off a couple of steps. Well,
but at least the wicketkeeper gets a bit of space.
Yeah. Why don't we take this opportunity to go around the grounds again? Let's start with the other game in this pool between the Striker Leeming Mustangs and the Strathpine Boroughs. That's there on your screen. It's going to be a tight finish there. 105 for the Boroughs. Striker Leeming Mustangs, well, they need a pretty big pair here. 30 runs or thereabouts to win. But they've done enough to book a position in final.
By the skin of their teeth, haven't they?
Yeah, so the win, not that important for either side. It's probably more about learning as much as they can now from this, and we'll just get a word from the tournament director on what's happening.
So while that discussion's taking place and Cameron Walters finding out exactly what's going on, we'll get that information to you. I'm sure the delay won't be too long. I don't think they'll have to pull up all the carpet and relay it. I'm pretty sure there's an easy fix, and Cameron Walter will let us know right now.
Yeah, look, our guess was correct in that the carpet's come up, so the tournament director's just after something that can secure it down. It sounds to me like it actually might be more than just the join, so we will have a longer delay here than anyone would like. So we've just touched on the Striker Leeming Mustangs and the Strathpine Boroughs game. We'll have a look at the other matches in play right now. The Macarthur Raptors, who are going to finish first in the other pool, well, they're doing a job on Mackay Magic, who have been knocked out. So we can say Macarthur Raptors will be part of the finals. On our other court, the Conquerors have just won their second skin against the Northcote Knights, which books a place in finals, if I'm not mistaken, Lowy, for the Conquerors. So from Pool A, it will be the Macarthur Raptors and the Conquerors from the ACT. And in Pool B, it will be the Strathpine Boroughs and the Striker-Leeming Mustangs. And depending on which way that result finishes will determine who plays who. But at the moment, the way it stands, it looks like the semi-finals will be the Macarthur Raptors versus the Conquerors from the ACT, and the
Macarthur Raptors
versus Striker-Leeming, and the Strathpine Boroughs versus the Conquerors from the ACT.
Correct.
Yeah.
And
unless the Mustangs win this game.
That's right. And good little footage there. Thanks to Sportscast. It looks like a little face there on the court, doesn't it? Just kind of grimacing at us, but it's not. That's the carpet that's lifted up. That's the problem. That's the delay. But yeah, they're all on the fly. Those the mass that we've added up. We're pretty confident that that's accurate. So out comes Brenton Bryan, who is just in the commentary box. That's what the man looks like. The coach of the Australian men's side.
And the proprietor here at Action Indoor Sports, Toombul. Now, those semi-finals that we mentioned, they'll take place tomorrow from 10 a.m. Australian Eastern Time. There are a couple of consolation games. They're also happening from 8 a.m. and 10 a.m. But the finals are what matters. The live stream game will be Pool A second, so that should be the Conquerors up against Pool B first, which is the which we think will be the Strathpine Boroughs. So that at 10 a.m. Tomorrow.
Yep.
And the other game also at 10 a.m. but not on the stream. We'll just keep you up to date with it. Will be Macarthur Raptors up against, we think, the Striker-Leeming Mustangs, and we'll let you know if those two positions change.
Yeah, by all means, check your local guides, i.e. the Cricket Australia Indoor Facebook page or
NICL.com.au.
Yeah, no, we'll be able to keep you up to date, no doubt.
Now the tournament director is out there just inspecting this little repair. Is he happy?
Well, that's his happy face, if you can believe that, ladies and gentlemen. That's David Shepley's happy face.
And he's leaving the court, allowing the fielders to take position, and we're almost ready to get back underway. We apologise for that short delay, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for your patience as we got that resolved. Final ball of this partnership. The Eastern Shore Bombers are on top here, both in the skin and in the game. What will happen as the final over is bowled in this pair? Well, down up 3. That certainly helps if you're a Sharks fan.
Mate, I know a tradie that would have charged $110 for a call-out fee and about $100 an hour part thereof. That's about $210 worth of labour work there, that tape.
And that's why you saw the owner go out and do it.
Yeah, invoice himself, you reckon?
Yeah, back in the days when I used to manage a centre, the amount of times you'd find yourself at the top of a ladder or gluing down some carpet or picking out some gum off the court. Yeah.
Good times.
Yeah, exciting times. Fixing holes in nets.
Yeah, you become
balls.
You become a real fisherman, don't you?
Yeah.
You used to sand and lacquer your own in-house balls out there.
Yep.
That's brilliant.
Misfield into the side net for 3. Yeah, you'd get a new rock. We'll go through an A-grade game.
Yep.
Get a bit of a touch-up, go through a couple of B-grade games, bit of a touch-up, C-grade, bit of a touch-up, D-grade. Sort of go through the motions and then become a training ball.
The life of the Burleigh Seacombe indoor cricket ball, huh?
Big swing and a miss.
He's gone for that one, Cameron Walter.
Yeah, and I'll tell you what, that explains the field. I almost feel like the batsman, Sampson, has said to the fielders, look, I'm going to tee off here, so give yourself a bit of room.
Get out of my way.
Final ball.
Because if he hits a 70, he'll still be short of the skin.
That's right.
Yeah.
Unless they run again.
Which they would if he does.
Can't come up with one. And that brings the partnership to an end. It's another skin to the Eastern Shore Bombers, but too little, too late. And we might check in again with that Boroughs and Striker-Leeming Mustang game over on the court behind us. You can see there 1 over remains and 14 runs required from it for Striker-Leeming. Again, whoever wins that, I think, might finish first. The Boroughs may have done enough by winning 2 skins, but we'll check that once the result's finished. And we'll keep you up to date with how it goes. So if they get 221, yeah, I think they have done enough. That's enough. The Boroughs will finish first. It'll be 21 to 20.5.
I don't trust my maths that much. I look forward to refreshing this page once well, that's gone through the system.
That's if the Mustangs win.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, the final partnership now in this game. It's Spall and Ferguson out there. We've batted together a fair bit, these two, if I'm not mistaken, for probably for this club, but also for South Australia. The smell of the food from the canteen downstairs. Come on down to Action Indoor Sports Toonville, folks. Another game to come tonight. The canteen's open, so is the bar. Come and join us.
Yeah, it goes all right. I've had 3 hamburgers today, I kid you not. And they do something quite special with the cheese. They kind of bake the cheese onto the grill and then put it on, so it's like a hard kind of crusted over cheese thing. It's pretty special.
Sounds enticing. A little bit of confusion there when they get through for the run.
And I don't think we're going to have to worry about the maths with Striker Lehman getting home, because with 1 delivery remaining, they need to score 16 to win. So it will be a Strathpine Boroughs victory. And you know what? The Strathpine Boroughs have done absolutely no favours for the Eastern Shore Bombers in that first batting partnership, only scoring 8.
Yeah.
I mean, if that happens, and then this game goes the way that we think it's going to go.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? That means it would have all been even. It would have come down to even it would have been, I think.
Yeah, it'd have to come down to 4 and against.
Points.
Yep. Shoulda, coulda, woulda.
Oh, it is crazy how close the Eastern Shore Bombers have come to progressing through to the next round.
14th over now. James Wolfe is the bowler.
And had they had won that game against Striker Leeming Mustangs where it was 78 all, they'd be going through.
Yeah, correct. It's a cruel game sometimes, isn't it?
Oh, it's a savage beatdown.
Oh, chance. Oh. Got some fingertips on it and popped it up. Almost a second chance there for the receiver. Here it is. Fingertips. It just fell outside of his reach. Didn't quite judge it well after the touch from the bowler. Driven. It's through. It'll be 5. And look, this partnership might make it even more academic if they can get across the line here, both for either for the skin or the win. So just more nails in the coffin.
Sorry, Cameron Walter, to stomp on you. So we've just had the update with the score. So Striker Lemming Mustangs on 16.5. So if the Eastern Shore Bombers did win this 7-zip, it would have been a tie. Striker Lemming Mustangs would have gone through on points differential as it sits at the moment, because it's only going to be just a narrow victory here for the Eastern Shore Bombers.
Well, that's if it's a victory.
If it is a victory.
Yeah.
And again, that one skin is the difference. So, yeah, wild stuff.
Well, they're not doing themselves any favours here. 75 now on the board for the Sharks. We've spent much of the game talking about how about the maths for the Bombers and how they might just miss out. And the the Sharks have just been quietly hanging in there and giving themselves an opportunity to win their final game. 2 overs remaining, 15 runs required. You'd think they'd be in the box seat now, Lowy.
Yeah, and look, even when your tournament's done, it's all finished, and you're just here to watch the grand final tomorrow and head over to the bar and hang out with your friends, you still want to win. You still want to win. There's always that competitive streak about you, and you don't want to go out there and just roll over and lose it. So they're going to be absolutely chomping at the bit to win this game, will the Morphett Vale Sharks. And also that'll move them up into 3rd position in this pool.
So we will recap 10 a.m. tomorrow, Australian Eastern Time, following the final round game for the women's, which is at 8 o'clock. it is on the live stream. We'll have the Pool A second place team versus Pool B first. So that is the Conquerors up against the Strathpine Boroughs. And then the other game at the same time, Pool A first up against Pool B second. That will be MacArthur Raptors against the Striker Leeming Mustangs.
You've done well there, mate.
10 a.m. Eastern tomorrow, the semi-finals of the 2019 final series for the National Indoor Cricket League. We'll see you here then. But otherwise, stick around tonight. This game coming to a conclusion, but the final round game, or the final game for day 2 of the final series, the women's round 5 match between the Casey Stars and the Mid-North Coast Mavericks. Might have a quick look at the arithmetic for that game, Loey, and see what impact the Stars might be able to have on finals for the Mavericks. The Hoppers Crossing Hurricanes really need the Stars to take a skin or two off them, don't they?
Yeah, and I've just mucked it all up for you. There it is. Yeah, indeed.
Well, I think they almost need them to win that game, don't they? Any win for the Mavericks puts them into the finals.
Yep.
So Hoppers Crossing Hurricanes will need their family mates from Victoria to pull off a miracle there and knock the Mavericks off if the Hoppers Crossing Hurricanes want to make the final. So stick with us for that. As I said, that's coming up from 6 p.m. Eastern. What I call the real time zone in Australia.
The real time zone.
Spoken like someone from the East Coast,
That's right.
Hello to everyone from Perth and Adelaide and the Northern Territory.
Well, how much do we love Perth when it's test match cricket over at the Wacker? You go to work all day, you come home, and you get to watch test match until 10 p.m.
I was fortunate enough to be at the Wacker for the last Ashes test that was played there. On assignment with CA, always tough gig when they send you to things like that.
Yeah, you poor bugger. Someone's got to do it though, mate.
Yeah,
you know, and that's what I love about you. Just put yourself forward. Oh dear.
Take one for the team, but well, the start of the final over when the Sharks were looking good, just gifted a wicket to the Bombers and made life very difficult for themselves now. I think they'll still bank the skin quite easily, but they need to now come up with 11 runs from 4 deliveries. We can suspect that one of these two will be trying to send one to the back net very soon.
Yeah, they'll be going to Boomtown.
There it is. And it falls safe. 4 runs. That helps. Here it is on the replay. He knew he had to do it. There it is. He catches the side net and just drops down in front of the receiver.
Dies on him, doesn't it?
Yeah. Sometimes that angle will do it to you. 3 to come now. More chance to throw. Direct hit, and they've done it, the Bombers. Pretty hard to see them lose from there. Again, nothing on the line for them either side in terms of finals, but both of them desperate to finish their carnival with a win, and that direct hit run out. As you see there in the replay, they're pumped. They're stoked with that. Helps their case for this last match win. So 2 to come now, 12 runs required. Lockie Ferguson on strike. He sent one to the back before. Can he do it again? Yes, he can. And out. There it is. It puts the result beyond doubt. Loey, we've got a bit of time, so I'm going to ask you. I'm not a fan of the field placement there. They've just given Ferguson all the room in the world to play whatever shot. Like the people on the 3 line, what are they achieving? Nothing.
Yeah.
They should be up there in front of the exclusion zone, in the eye line of the batsman, so that they can't run at it. As it is there, that's freedom. They can do whatever they like.
Yeah, he's got a lot of space.
Oh, how about that? It takes a catch to finish the game. And it's a hat-trick. Be interested to see what that actually did to the skin with a loss of that many wickets. We just need to wait for the scoreboard to update and go back to the actual result. Well, they get it by a run, the Morphett Vale Sharks. But the final game for both sides, and the Eastern Shore Bombers have finished with a win. For both teams, it is curtains. What a fascinating game of indoor cricket, Lowy.
Yeah, it was pretty crazy, and just the whole dynamic with what was happening on the game behind us with Strathpine and help me out. Who were they
Striker
playing?
Lemming.
Thank you very much, Striker Lemming. Look, well done to the Eastern Shore Bombers and the Morphett Vale Sharks. They've conducted themselves pretty well here this weekend, and I'm really glad to see the Bombers do so well. They're going to end up finishing in third position and only just missing out on making it through to final. So I think it's, although not going through, but it's a bit of a win for them, I think.
Certainly is. So congratulations to the Sharks and the Bombers on their respective championships from the South Australian and the Tasmanian National Indoor Cricket League zones, and our thanks to them for their efforts here during the final series. But it is the end of the road for them. It's not the end of the road for us, folks. From 6 p.m. Eastern Time, as I said, it's the Stars and the Mavericks, round 5 in the Women's National Indoor Cricket League final series. So do stay with us, or come on down Action Indoor Sports Toombul if you're in the area. Till then, Gary Lowe, thanks again for your company.
Thank you very much, Cameron. It's always a pleasure broadcasting wonderful games of indoor cricket with you, and that one's no exception.
And ladies and gentlemen at home, thank you for your company. Stick with us, 6 p.m. Eastern. It's the Stars and the Mavericks. Until then, I'm Cameron Walter. Thanks for watching.